Let's get down in the dirt with the Home Show Garden Pros.
Well, hello, Facebook. Welcome to the Home Show Garden Pros weekly Facebook Live. Last week I didn't have it because it was the Ice-a-Palooza, the big chill-mageddon. Anyway, we took a week off because we were all dealing with trying to protect our plants, our pipes, our homes, and our families. Anyway, we're back, and we are here to dish out the gardening advice as possible. So what we do is we've gathered all these experts all over town, and this Facebook Live is a chance to show off some other experts that aren't our co-op members. Our co-op members, they're really great. They're kind of from all over the place. You got Warren Southern Gardens up in Kingwood and Kingwood Garden up there. Down southwest, you've got Enchanted Forest and Enchanted Gardens. In Katy, there's Nelson Water Gardens. And, of course, Plants for All Seasons up 249. Just a great group of people that we have gathered to help you be a better gardener. And that's what we do. That's what we do. A lot of y'all have lost plants. A lot of y'all are trying to wonder, what do I do now? You've been told to wait. Well, this hot weather kind of maybe is like, maybe don't wait as much as you thought. We should start seeing some budding out soon. There's a lot of great resources out there, one of which is the Master Gardeners group here in Harris County. And Jonathan Correa is with us from that said Master Gardeners group. Hey, Jonathan.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing good. I think everybody else is doing good. Some of us are pretty sad, like you are, about some of our plants. Yeah. Jonathan and I were just commiserating about our bananas that look like this was the year to get a bunch of bananas, and then no.
Yep, they were big, they were tall, they were looking healthy, and now they look like Jell-O.
I mean, I did a little bit of banana hacking. I sharpened my machete and went out there and just released some energy. Try to get some good, clean, one-slice chops. I felt like a sword master for a little while. But is that the thing to do with bananas? Is, once it's warm enough, just cut them back?
Cut them down. Yeah, because they will be very mushy. And what will end up happening if you let them stay there too long is you can get some other pests that'll show up, some fungus, molds, that will mess with your plant later in the year. Or could actually do more harm than another quick freeze would do. So anything that's kind of mushy, like bananas, elephant ears, and a few others, you can cut them pretty far back. Just clean them up and get rid of everything around, do a little fresh mulching if you need to, and then they'll come back. It will just take another full year before the bananas are ready to fruit again with above freezing temperatures.
Wah, wah. I have ice cream bananas, and they're about 6 years old, and I've got a little bunch, but I just have yet to get a edible banana off of them. So one of these years, they are filling a space where there's this kind of visible warehouse back behind my house. So that's nice for that reason, I guess. So, well, Jonathan, I know that you are busy with real estate, but also busy with Master Gardener stuff, and you guys have had to move a lot of sales around. We do have, we want you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I know that basically the best move is to maybe send people to y'all's website for all of the sales and stuff like that.
It's a great website. It's very simple. It's hcmga.tamu.edu. Harris County Master Gardener Association .texas.a&m.education. Seems kind of long, but if you Google it, if you just Google Harris County Master Gardeners, we're always the number ones up there.
It's so simple. It's Manu to Master Gardeners.com.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Google Harris County Master Gardeners.
Yes.
That's what I always do. Yeah. Honestly, that's what everybody's doing now. You don't even have to tell people the name of something.
And we still have a sale going on. Yeah. Sorry. We still have a sale that's going on until March 5th. You can pick it up on March 20th. That's our spring perennial sale. We have peppers, perennials, and a few other things that are available. That will be down by our Genoa Friendship Garden, which is just inside the Beltway on Genoa Red Bluff near Ellington Field. And it's all new to us once again. Our fruit tree and tomato pickup that was last Saturday got postponed, obviously. It was too darn cold. So, and on top of it, our grower and all couldn't get their trees because they were all in a big greenhouse. So we're doing everything on that weekend. So it'll be a 3-day event. Come see our gardens, come see us, come pick up your plants. We'll take good care of everybody, but we're having some time to retool everything and make sure we do it right. But there's still time to buy more stuff.
Yeah, that's a really cool garden down there too. So it is a great kind of,
Thank you.
time to see a cool space and get some good plants and support a great cause. So you guys are doing good work all over the city. Why don't you tell a little bit about what Master Gardeners do here in Harris County? You guys are
Well,
secret
the Master
agents, sort of.
Gardeners are a standalone group in Harris County. Every county gets to have one with their AgriLife extension. And in Harris County, we bring relevant horticulture information to the masses of Harris County and surrounding counties also if they want to come visit us.
Right.
We like to work with seniors, with children, with the public and outreach, our Ask a Master Gardener website, our social media websites. Our sales in the past were great face to face to actually spend many hours talking to the people in our demonstration gardens. Would invite people to come in all the time during the week. We've had to change that a little bit the past year, but we'll be back. The Genoa Friendship Garden, we do let a few people in every once in a great while, just not a lot of folks. And we've had a lot of good opportunity in the last year to update a lot of things and rebuild things and take out a few old fruit trees and put in more relevant fruit trees that grow better down here. And working on some more trial beds. We used to do the trials out at Bear Creek, but now we're doing them down there at the GFG, we call it, the Genoa Friendship Garden.
Nice.
And we're doing kale, Swiss chard, and something else right now. And I can tell you, and when you do a trial, you can't do really anything to it. You start them in plugs, you transplant them into this bed, and you pretty much leave them alone. And then we kind of go out there every week and we score them. Does it look pretty? Does it look old? Does it look tired? Is it fresh? Is it red? Is it green? The chard and the kale were not covered, were not extra watered. They look perfect.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to get good scores on cold hardiness.
For sure.
Because it was, all the tomatoes that were in our greenhouse, we lost power down there, dead.
Yeah.
But all the greens, the orange trees, everything looks really good down there. It's a little golden everywhere. Light brown and gold colors but it's going to come right back. It will. It does every year when we have something like this. So it's well worth it. So we like to teach the folks, come visit our website, come visit our Facebook pages, social pages. You can you can email. We have a really good question and answer thing on our website that does a nice job with answering people's questions.
Awesome.
And you can take photos. You can add photos if you want.
Nice.
Just not real big, about 3 megabytes or smaller.
Okay. So don't get a
'Cause I
professional
tried to
photographer to
yeah.
take your pictures of your
Don't take a
plants.
40 megabyte
Yeah.
panoramic view of your yard and go, what's wrong with my yard?
Here's this 30-minute video about my yard. So one thing I do want to announce is we're here to answer your questions and encourage you guys to put them in comments. I have prepared 4 questions for Jonathan. It's not like a quiz show. I'm not trying to stump him, but he's a knowledgeable guy, so it's kind of great. But we got a question here from Brandon Dalton in the comments there. So I'm going to go ahead and read this real quick. Is there a chance for birds of paradise to recover? I had them covered with a heat lamp, but of course we were without power to run the heat lamp on the night it got to 12 degrees. So how should they be pruned to remove freeze damage or to help recovery?
With a bird of paradise, 2 things you can do immediately is you can prune it back a few inches, but don't get all the way back to where the green is. Give it a little bit of room to die off a little more, and give it a nice, healthy, like soil drenching of a nice transplant food or like an ocean combination fish, so that it gets a lot of good nutrients to help stimulate those roots to come back. Because a lot of plants will really actually be very beneficial to do that right now.
Yeah,
And
seaweed is a
especially the
great
bird of paradise. Yeah.
Anything oceany is sort of the way to go.
Yeah.
Pretty much on every single thing. I mean, that's what I'm doing to my citrus. That I love the way you said they're golden. It's golden right now, because the leaves are going to fall off and they're running out. But I did a lot of scratch testing. Posted one on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm seeing green on some small twigs, so I'm pretty jazzed. So you ready to start answering some of these questions here?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Certainly.
Here's the first one about avocados. This is from Nora. Nora asked, well, she kind of has a lead-in question. Who has an avocado tree? Any idea what we should do now that this freeze is over? So how do you recover an avocado tree? Yikes.
Depending on the species, hopefully it's one that's a little more cold tolerant.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of leave it alone for the next month. Keep an eye on it. You don't need to prune anything. Let the plant's going to tell you what it needs to get rid of. You probably, like with the big avocado we have down at the Genoa Friendship Gardens, we're probably going to have to prune it back about 2 feet all the way around.
Okay.
So it'll be about 4 foot smaller in diameter when we're done pruning it. Because I was down there the other day and looked at it. The inside looks good.
Mm,
It's just the outside looks kind of crusty.
right.
And again, a nice good drench of some good nutrients would help, fresh mulch. And then probably the end of March, early April, when the last chance of a frost is gone, then you can go out there and start pruning. And be thoughtful about the pruning. The basic, make sure you get rid of the crossed branches, the crowded branches, make sure air can flow through and sunlight can come down into it to get those secondary and tertiary branches growing for next year. Because you may not get a good crop this year, but we're already 22. So
Yeah, and a great thing about waiting till April is that sometimes you even get some budding that happens, and you can see maybe a scratch test didn't tell you honestly. You can see where the new buds are, and that's your sign of what's alive and what's
that's a
not
great
alive.
sign. Yes. Hey,
Avocados
yeah,
don't.
it's still making. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah. Avocados do not love a pruning, so you want to be aware not cutting too much
Right.
fresh wood. And I would for sure remember to sanitize between cuts on an avocado.
Oh,
One of
you
those
always have
trees.
that bucket of bleach with you, bleach water.
See, I love Consan 20 from Monterey. It does the fungi too, which is kind of cool. So,
Ah,
all right, next question. Here we go. Question number 2 from Julia, my friend Julia. So she says, what to do about tomatoes? Plant some, don't do any tomatoes this year. Julia, no, you still do tomatoes this year. Jonathan, fill us in.
yes, if you can find a tomato, get it and plant it. Our instances, we had 800, 900 4-inch tomato
Eesh,
plants
wow.
ready to go, and
Hmm.
all but 12 died. And lo and behold, the ones that survived were the Siberian king, the golden Siberian king.
Well, there you
So I guess
go.
they're living up to their name. They seem to last through most of that cold weather.
Well, that sounds like
Um,
a great fall
they're going to
tomato,
be
though.
hard to find, but I can imagine any of the growers that have more than just the Houston area are probably taking those tomatoes from further north that aren't quite ready yet and shipping them down here and starting new for Tennessee and Illinois and New England gardens. But you'll still find some because some of the growers that we talked to did okay. Some did not. It just depends on how long they lost power and how actually cold it got while they had no power. But yeah, if you can find a tomato, plant that tomato. It'll be the best tomato you ever had
It would be
because your
certainly
neighbors won't have
precious.
any. Yeah.
Sad story for me. I dug up 2 of my tomatoes that I already had planted. They were nice and big. Took them inside. They did great. Brought them back out. And then on the Beefmaster, I broke the stem while I was planting it. It's
Oh
so
gosh.
I was so
Yeah.
sad. I didn't cry, but that's all you guys need to know about that.
Exactly.
We do
And
have a
and
video
and when
coming
you
on later about how deep to plant them, paying attention to a few things with planting tomatoes. But definitely, I like that you're saying if you can find it, get to your local garden
yeah,
shop and get tomatoes because it's going to be a supply issue this year. So I'd get
it's
on
going to be
them.
a supply issue. And if you see some that you may not have had before that are more heat tolerant, they might be a good chance this year to
Mm,
use because those usually don't come out till a little later anyways,
mm.
and they will last into the summer. I did 4th of July's Tropic and another one last year, I think San Marzano. And I was having fresh tomatoes, not a lot, but every week, 2 or 3 tomatoes every week up
That's
until
awesome.
August.
Yeah, in July, that's really wonderful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, question number 3. Here we go. Ooh, it's a long one. From Royce. Whew. Roy says, not freeze related. I have very few spots in my yard. I need medium trees. I don't have room for oaks due to septic lines. I would like
Hmm.
a few evergreen and a few deciduous in different places. Would prefer native or at the least very well adapted. So just, I guess, rattle off some great middle-sized trees for Royce.
For some middle-sized landscape trees, there's a few good ones that you can get. A Chinese pistache, what is that? We have a bunch of earth kind that Texas A&M likes to
Mm,
recommend. The chinkapin oak is a good sized one, but not super super big.
yeah, that's great.
The American hollies, the sawtooth oaks are real
Mm,
nice. Um, One that's an interesting tree I'm still learning about is the parasol tree. I think it self-populates a little too easily, but they're
Mm.
pretty easy to pull out. It's not like all of a sudden you've got a forest of them. A couple of the other good ones that we've had down there. Uh,
Well,
if you've got a lot of water, any of the cypress work
yeah,
good.
cypress are great. I love those slow growing oaks like you mentioned, and hollies. I mean, American holly, all that big group of hollies are so awesome. And really, I think that's
Hmm.
if they stick to some of the stuff you said, even some of the maples are cool, but Chinese fringe trees are really medium sized, really cool, really showy. You'll be super proud if you plant one of those
Hmm.
because they just
Yeah,
get
they
big
come up
and
pretty.
gorgeous. Well, I hope that helps, Royce.
And if you want to, yeah, yeah,
No,
and if you want a showy tree like a saucer magnolia or a butterfly magnolia, those are real
yeah,
pretty and are medium sized also.
yeah, for sure. That's great. That's great. Trying to think of, I mean, small trees, I guess medium to small. Pineapple guava is one, and they've
Yeah,
seemed to hold up really well in the freeze. I saw a bunch of those that were untouched, so I thought that was super
that's
cool.
good.
But you got to wait a while for those to be a tree. So, all right, here we go. Question number 4.
Hmm.
Question number 4 is from Hake. Hi, can you give me tips to get rid of aphids? I tried neem oil, but just don't seem to be working. And they have kind of a slanty face with a colon and a slash there. So it's like, oh, so
Aphids, I think they're a part of life. If you don't have them, it's not if you're going to get them, but when you're going to get them. So how to prepare to deal with these, like the stink bugs that always come in on our tomatoes. Um, you know, if you got a nice little hose with a good stream on it, you can spray them off. That's an easy way.
yeah.
Um, or a little insecticidal soap, or there's some homegrown remedies that I'm really not allowed to talk about as a master gardener, but the recipes that are out there. You can find them real easy on the Google,
Sure.
quite well, but they're very temporary.
Yeah.
Depending on how bad your aphids are, it might just be, a little spray, a little insecticidal soap, or some other soap and water, and that does it. Or, and I know I like to get beneficial insects. If you go and buy ladybugs, make sure you have something to feed them. That's the number one problem
Mm.
we get. Well, I bought all these ladybugs and they flew away. Well, because they're hungry and you
And
didn't
they have
have enough
wings.
aphids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And wings, yes. So, I think just, being ahead of it and knowing certain things that will attract them, don't plant them there. Plant them somewhere else.
Right.
I get aphids or some little bug on my Georgia collards, usually the third week of March. That first week where it doesn't get under 50, they
Right.
immediately
Right.
get covered with these bugs. And I'm like, oh, compost pile. Because you just can't wash them all off. But they
Yeah.
come
Right.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Yeah.
Huh. So, I mean, neem oil is not a contact insecticide, so it's not going to kill anything. It's kind of your got to get it on before the bugs show up sort of
Right.
thing.
It's more of like a sunscreen kind of thing.
Yeah,
It has
exactly.
to be there before. And a
And
lot of times with those and just spraying it, you always want to get underneath the plant. Don't
yes.
spray it from the top down. Spray it from the bottom up, because that's where they always hide, is under the
Mm,
leaf, underneath things, because they hide from the rain,
that's
and they
right.
know the rain will wash them away, so they hide underneath. And that's trying to explain that to a lot of folks is like, well, why would I do that? Watch, come to my house. I had white flies one year on one of my lemon trees, and I'd shoot the hose upside down, and it'd just be like this swarm of white bugs that would come
Explosion. Man, I do know that if you're out there and you are seeing it be a whitefly or aphid or scale on a very repetitive basis year after year, and you're adding compost and trying to help the tree get healthier, but you're still seeing that stuff, something that maybe happened is your tree's just planted too low. And so if possible, pop that thing up, raise it up. When they're too low, their roots aren't really
out.
grown very well. So something you can always try to do if you're seeing just aphids and whitefly every single year. But I always love
That's a
spraying
good one. Yeah,
molasses on those things. So
that's
that's
a
what
good
I
one.
love doing.
Hmm.
Okay, we got one more freeze recovery question here. This is from, we have two actually. This is from Jose. This is Santo, but anyway, how about mangave bad hair? So the specific type of mangave, the bad hair mangave, any chance to grow back after this freeze, or is it just toast?
I'm gonna say that one's probably pretty hard to come back from, because
Mm,
that's a tropical rather than a subtropical.
right.
That's, yeah.
Well, sorry about the bad news there. Tough to
Bad
cover as
hair.
much as we can. Yeah, bad hair. Really, really cool plant though. All right, this is from Mona. She said, I covered my Easter lilies, but they don't look too good. Will they make it? So I guess we can make this really all about bulbs too, just general bulb knowledge.
I would say, yeah, the bulbs will be fine because they were in the ground. Several of my Easter lilies and other Asiatic lilies were just coming out of the ground, and they've been cut back because they were all mushy.
Hmm.
But I'm sure they'll come right back. I planted one from like 15 years ago, and it has just self-populated every year. And I dig out 15 or 20 and plant them somewhere else or give them away. They're hardy
that's
little
great.
bulbs.
So
Yeah.
Mona, hope that helps. And Anita does have advice for us. If you got Y-fly, worms casting helps. She's talked about it on the show. Anita from Nelson Nursery and Water Gardens. Just down by the root, the base of the plant. So, yeah, great questions, great info. If you got some other questions, put them there in the comments section. We're going to go to our how to plant tomatoes and tomato care with Joey. And so here we go.
That is not a tomato cage.
Oh. Joey's got some great information for us about how to plant tomatoes and how to grow tomatoes. Joey, how do I do this?
That's right. So as soon as you've gotten your good garden soil put in and your microlife fertilizer added to the soil, you're ready to plant.
Okay.
Sometimes the planting is the easy part, and what you do after that is more important. So you'll plant your tomato plant either level or a little bit deeper than where it was existing in the pot there.
So you got two little buddies on yours and I only have one on mine. That's okay?
That's okay. Sometimes there's 2 seeds in the pot, and just let it do its thing.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go real deep. Now I know I always kind of, massage the roots a little bit. Should I pinch this off?
You should, yeah. If you're gonna, a lot of times when you plant them deep, if they're tall, they'll put out roots along the sides,
Okay, so
and
I'll
that'll
take
just
this leaf
make
off.
a healthier root system. Yep,
Okay.
take that
As
little
deep
one
as
off.
I can go down there.
Yep,
And I'll just kind of cover it up. I got it pretty deep.
you did good.
And I know tomatoes need structure.
That's
so
right.
I brought a tomato cage. Check this out. I'm ready to go.
That is not a tomato cage.
Oh, this is
The smaller ones are more for peppers, eggplants, things of that sort.
Okay.
Really, you need at least a 48-inch tomato cage to support the big weight of all the tomatoes that you're going to have.
Wow.
And you can even use something decorative
Okay.
like this one.
So even a pretty one like that can work because it has the support, has the structure, and kind of guides. Wow, that's really pretty too.
Yep, not bad.
Not bad. And then we follow up with some good fertilizer, and then we're good to go.
Good to go.
Awesome. Thanks, Joey. Great word there. Good thoughts on it. Your tomatoes are going to get huge. You want a big tomato cage and plant them deep. That's what I got, really. So, good stuff. Jonathan, any other tomato tips for folks?
If they get a little too tall, you can lay them down on their side and make like a trench and then bend them up a little bit. And they will do just as fine, if not even better, because they'll have all that stem to build a root system with.
Yeah, that is,
and what we
that is
do in
how
the
I
garden.
broke my beef master.
You got to be very careful.
I know.
But then we use goat wire, 4-inch goat wire that comes in like a 200-foot long roll, and we unroll it and we cut it 4 or 5 feet, and they make great tomato cages. They also are really versatile because for a frost, if your tomatoes aren't out, you don't make them a circle, you leave them as big hoops, and they easily put frost cloth over them with little clips.
Nice. Well, that's great. Yeah, and you get that whole tent thing that people need to do instead of the lollipop
Blankets and,
that you see sometimes. Yeah. Well, Jonathan, thanks for dishing out great information. Great job answering the questions as always. One last question. Lawns. Do you think lawns are going to kind of recover pretty well, or is there going to be a lot of resodding this year?
What I've seen right now is you know exactly where the weeds are. Because your Augustine and the Bermuda is all gray or brown, but that burr clover is still bright green. And of course, oxalis and that Velcro weed, it looked at that cold weather and said, not today. It's amazing how some things are just melted. And then here's that little Velcro plant. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's fine. The burr oak, the burr clover is everywhere. I can see it in the sidewalks everywhere. It looks perfectly green. The oxalis didn't even have a problem. It came right through everything. So at least you know where the weeds are. If you want to go out and
all
treat
mine
them,
melted into a mat. All the oxalis at my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just kind of it made this white mat. So it was pretty easy to rake up. And a lot of it even pulled out the roots down there. I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
that's
unexpected.
good news.
Yeah, right. That was great news. And then Dallas grass really took a hit. So people that have Dallas grass in the lawn, I noticed that did not weather well. But probably they'll all come back for their roots. You know how these things are. They're survivors. So, hey, well, thanks so much. Everybody check out Harris County Master Gardeners. Learn how to join. Learn how to become a Master Gardeners. The more Master Gardeners we get in the world, the better the world is. So you guys are doing a great job. And buy some plants from them. They're doing good work.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, this has been our Facebook Live. Tune in this Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We will be there answering gardening questions, on Sports Radio 610. See you on Saturday.